Let's go to the dailies. There's some interesting stories today. Yeah, and I'm waiting to get to one particular one that's annoying me.
Yeah, there's one on the front page of the Daily Graphic that I'm like, really? It says, don't cap Supreme Court judges. Yes, Chief Justice and Sophia Kufu proposed. So they are saying that there should not be a limit on the number of judges of the Supreme Court. Well, I'm not sure about this. Maybe the legal luminaries can shed more light on this. And the two of them are legal luminaries, I guess. But it's interesting because there are people saying that there should be a limit. Now they are saying,
do you know something?
What?
Every time you're thinking about these kind of things in terms of parliament, number of districts, number of MPs, number of Supreme Court judges, anytime you're thinking about these, you always have to come to the bottom line. To start from there, do we have the funds to forever in perpetuity keep increasing the numbers? If we don't, it's logical. It may not suit your fancy, but it's logical to cap. Now, do we say the cap is 10? Do we say the cap is 20? Do we say the cap is 30? That's the business of the inner workings of the people who are in the Supreme Court. They should decide those things. But there has to be a cap. It cannot go on forever without a cap.
This is their justification for this. They say that the scope of the Supreme Court under the 1992 Constitution is too broad, making the apex court inundated with a workload of cases, which made it impossible to limit the total number of judges there. The two people shared their thoughts on whether or not to cap the number of judges appointed at the SC at the Institute of Economic Affairs Stakeholder Engagement on Constitutional Review in Accra last Tuesday. They argued that the number of judges at the Supreme Court could only be capped if access to the court was limited. That's what they're saying. But there's a process before you get to Supreme Court for anything.
Yes, there is.
But they are saying that it's too open or it's too broad. So if it were narrowed and very limited access was granted, then you could cap the number of judges. But they are saying that, I guess because there's so much traffic and they're inundated with workload, they need more judges so that they can, I guess, chop and change, or they can impanel a different set of judges at any time, so that they're not.
I still think that if you say that it should be uncapped, that's a recipe for disaster.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, other stories on the front page of the Daily Graphic. Graphic and Access Bank have an SME fair going on today, and pictured here is the MD of Access Bank, Olumide Olatunji, and the MD of Graphic Communications, Atu Afo. Also, NAT, that's the Ghana Association of Teachers, and GMA, the Ghana Medical Association, they have rejected the debt restructuring proposal by government. Now, other groups have rejected it as well. And you can check out the Adentan constituency tomorrow in the Daily Graphic. They'll be doing a profile for those of you who live in that area. Maybe you can check it out. And we're so happy, aren't we, that our cousins in Morocco, the Atlas Lions, Charlie, they beat Spain on penalties. So much celebration, really, really great stuff there. But they will be facing, possibly, they could be facing Portugal if they get to the semis. Yeah, so, but we'll keep an eye on the Atlas Lions, as they call themselves. Yeah, that's the Daily Graphic for today.
Well, I'm going to quickly go through the front page of the Ghanaian Times, and then we can call it. You can go to do some sports.
Okay.
The Ghanaian Times, so we have at National Land Confab, President orders implementation of land law to deal with challenges with sales. So this business of multiple sales, the chiefs have sold and then other people go and sell it again, and all of that kind of thing that's going on there is what he's talking about. 2023 budget approval, trust us to protect your interest. Minority reacts to public backlash. And NAT, 5 others kick against debt exchange program. South MCE warns chief and contractors against illegal sand winning activities. Fake army officer in police grips. Yes, that story there came out yesterday. And those are the headlines there. Do you have the Finder and the
I have the Business Finder.
Yeah, I think we should do those two. And then
yes, and I really want to do one of the Chronicle stories.
Sure.
Because remember the bullion van robberies?
Yes.
There was a time when they were quite rampant.
Yeah.
Bullion van robbery suspects discharged This is on the front page
Really?
of the Chronicle. Yes. Now, those who were being tried for bullion van robbery related offences have been discharged by an Accra Circuit Court. The court, presided over by Patricia Amponsa, discharged the suspects after the state withdrew the charges against them yesterday. Now, there was no specific reason given for the withdrawal of the charges. The case had been going on for more than 8 months, maybe even longer.
So the guy died in vain?
Listen. So it goes on to give us the background. In 2021, Ghana Police Service recorded a series of bullion van and street robberies within the Greater Accra region.
Yeah.
They mounted surveillance to find the culprits. Remember, there were 2 police officers that got they were killed in a shootout between police and...
Yes.
We remember that.
Yes, I remember that.
They allegedly admitted the offense,
Yes.
from what we are told,
Yes.
and they were used as kind of bait to fish out some others. Somewhere in that operation,
Yes.
they ended up getting killed. Well, we are being told that the suspects in this case have been discharged and no specific reasons given. Now, the state decided not to continue the case against them. And the Proverbs 24, verse 8, one who plans to do evil, men will call a schemer. And there are other headlines as well, like the Lands Commission issue, digitization of land. That's the Chronicle. The Finder also has financial sector gets 15 billion Ghana cedis to address liquidity issues. You know, so pick up the papers to read more about these stories.
All right. Well, it's time for us to go for some sports updates.